Hello grade 8 students. Welcome to another day of learning. I am Teacher Roman and I am very excited to bring you today's lesson. Prepare yourself as we explore and learn something new. Before that, who can give me or enumerate our classroom rules before, during, and after discussion? Yes, Jude. Very good. So the classroom rules are: listen carefully, participate actively, stay focused, wait for your turn, maintain social distancing, and wear your face mask or face shield. Okay, so I hope you are now ready. Let's recall our previous lesson through an activity. For the next slide, match the definition with each item. Write the letter of the correct answers in your answer sheet. Okay, number 1, propaganda. Number 2, bias. Number 3, endorse. Number 4, symbol. Okay, so let's check your word. Who can give answer? Bella. Very good. So these are the answers. For propaganda, it is a message that are made to manipulate people's actions and beliefs. And last, for symbol, it is something stands for or represents something else. Okay, so all of you got the perfect score? Very good. So today, we are going to have another interactive learning activity. We are going to learn to recognize evaluative word choice to detect biases and propaganda devices used by the speaker. So let us read this statement. My daughter Linda is the best person for the job. It is a bias or not? Yes, Erica. Very good. This is a bias because Linda is the daughter of the person who says it. It needs to be backed up with other evidences as well as from other sources other than the opinion of someone who has a personal interest. So when we say bias, it is an undue favor. It is an undue favor. And last, it is a group or race or even an argument against another. So how about propaganda? Okay, so I will show you a short advertisement about isopropyl alcohol and look out for the powerful words or convincing words used to convince you to use their product.
Meron bang proteksyon laban sa higit sa 100 sakit? Oo, meron. The number 1 alcohol, Green Cross. Proven na pumapatay ng mga bacteria at viruses na sa ng diarrhea, hepatitis A, trangkaso, at napakarami.
Okay, so that's it for the advertisement. Now, going back to the question, what powerful words or convincing words that are used to convince you to use their product? Yes, Trixie. Very good. So the powerful words used are stop 100 plus diseases with Green Cross alcohol with 1 defense versus 100 plus diseases. Okay, so how about this picture? So these products are used in the fight of COVID-19. Are you familiar with this? So what can you say about these products? Do you believe in what it's saying about these products? Is it true? How do advertisers convince the viewers or consumers to buy, use, patronize their products? Yes, Michelle? Very good. They say that these products are good to use in the fight of COVID-19 by showing videos on how to use them and how consumers will be protected. And also, they create videos on how these products will be used and what are the effects if they're gonna use it. They use different propaganda and bias statements to convince you to buy their products. And also to make people believe and accept them. Okay, so when it comes to propaganda, refers to spreading of information, ideas, or rumors that is meant to convince you. Okay. So, for the task 1, I know you are now ready for our activity today. Write B if the statement shows biased information and NB if it is not. Okay, so you can find the activity in your learning modules worksheets on page 10 for instruction. Number 1. There are many old people in our town. Number 5. I prepared this video for my group. Okay, so who can answer? Trixie. Okay, very good. So these are the answers. Number 1 for B, for bias. Number 2, non-bias. Number 3, non-bias. Number 4, bias. And number 5, bias. So very good, class. Okay, so for today's lesson, we will do more drills and activities to fully understand the topic. So what are you waiting for? Let's keep the ball rolling. So for today's goal, you are expected to analyze intentional words or expressions used in propaganda techniques and identify the different types of propaganda. So don't you worry, I will guide you by means of having more drills or activities that will surely help you understand our today's lesson. So let's start our discussion by answering this activity again. In the next slide. Okay, so study the statements given below. Choose the statement that shows a bias and propaganda. For number 1, cigarettes from different brands will kill lives. But with our product, it is not true that it can harm your body. Your lungs are safe with our Royal Cigarettes brand. Reserve yours now. Next. Girls with whiter skin are beautiful. Try our whitening lotion. Most girls are using it now to whiten their skin. Now class, who can answer the first one? Okay, Bella. Very good. So these are the examples of bias statement and propaganda statement based from statement number 1. Next. Trixie. Very good. For bias, girls with whiter skin are beautiful. And for propaganda, try our whitening lotion. Most girls are using it now to whiten their skin. Okay, so good job, Trixie and Bella. Now, we have 7 types of propaganda. So I hope you listen very well because this is very important and I want you to learn something new today. Did you know that we have different types of propaganda techniques? Let's figure it out one by one. Here are the 7 common propaganda techniques used. First, testimonial. This is the statements using an expert or a celebrity to sell or support a product or services. So these are the sample testimonial statements for bias and propaganda. Next, glittering generalities. The statements include words or places for a product or a person. So these are the sample bias and propaganda statement for glittering generalities. Next, transfer. A technique of projecting positive or negative qualities of one person, entity, object, or value against another to make it seem better or worse than the other. So these are the sample bias and propaganda statement for transfer. Next, plain folks. This is used to convince the audience that the spokesperson is just like them. So these are the examples of bias and propaganda statement. Yeah, so these are the bias and propaganda statement. Next, Bandwagon. Bandwagon portrays ideas to get people to follow the crowd. So these are the following bias and propaganda statements under bandwagon. For bias, only dead fish go with the flow. And for propaganda, many are using these products. Proven and tested. Try it now. Next, name calling. When we say name calling, this statement creates an unfavorable hatred towards a person or group instead of their ideas and beliefs. So these are the example bias and propaganda statement for name calling. Next. So, we have card stacking. It uses the best argument possible for his or her side and presents it against the weakest argument of his or her opponent. So these are the example of bias and propaganda statement for card stacking. Right, so there you have it. Since you already know the propaganda techniques, let us try to do this task. For task number 2, choose the letter of the correct answer that best describes the propaganda device used in column B. Alright, so these are the items. Number 1. We must all do that we can to help the COVID-19 victims and frontliners, said the famous actress Angel Locsin, who donated a big amount for her advocacy. How will you help? And last, Pinoy kids wear is the hottest new fashion. Don't be left out. Get yours today. Okay, so I want you to check your own work. I know I can count on you in checking your own answers. Okay, so who wants to answer number 1? Bella. Very good. Testimonial. Number 2, Lorraine. Very good. Next, Pamela. Correct. Let me see. Next, glittering generalities. You are correct, Jude. And last, bandwagon. You are right, Bella, again. Okay, so let's have task number 3, peekaboo. Read the advertisement below that use several biases and propaganda. Pick the statements that show bias or propaganda. Write the word bias or propaganda. Number 1. Save. Don't waste your money. It is easy to spend when it's your pocket and you'll have a little to show it. Next, smart people save money. Number 3. Keep your saving in the Theo Garcia Bank where they will be safe and will earn 3.5% per annum. Number 4. This bank is better than any other bank. Last, number 5. Another way to save and earn more interest is with time deposits. If you agree not to withdraw your money for a fixed period, you will receive a greater interest. Alright, so let's check your work. Number 1, who wants to answer? Bella again. What's the answer for number 1, Bella? Okay, very good. Propaganda. Number 2, Trixie. Very good. Bias. Number 3, propaganda. Correct, Jude. Number 4, very good, Trixie. Number 5, propaganda. Very good, Pamela. So there you have it. Now, keep in mind that the following questions on how to recognize evaluative word choice to detect biases and propaganda devices used by the speakers. So remember that biased information and propaganda devices try to change your mind and influence your decision. So being aware of knowing how to identify and analyze information properly is a skill to be treasured. So these are the following questions to keep that in your mind to detect the bias and propaganda. And for next, and these are the sample indicators for biased information. So the language is used often extreme exaggerated. So bias is often extreme exaggerated. Lastly, the purpose is to persuade, endorse, promote, market, sell, or entertain. So that's it for the propaganda and bias. So propaganda is everywhere. It is up to us on how we handle and understand it. So let us do this activity. Study the picture of the cultural heritage somewhere here in Bicol and identify the type of propaganda used. Number 1. Lake Danau. The Lake Danau can give you the best sinarapan you can ever taste. Is it transfer, bandwagon, glittering generalities, or card stacking? Number 2. Bicol's number 1 visited fiesta celebration. Number 3. Super sweet sugar before. Now taste my newly found match on my coffee. Next, number 4. Swim and find magic in Dennis Resort. Last, these are the answers. Who wants to answer number 1? Bella. Very good. So for number 1, it is card stacking. Number 2, Trixie. Very good. Bandwagon. Number 3, Raymond. Correct. Transfer. Number 4, the last one. Glittering generalities. Alright? So, I hope you are now ready for a quiz. Okay? So, for instruction, read the article. Detect the bias and propaganda statements used by completing the table. So, the templates will be given here. So, number 1. Video game is the best. It was developed in South Korea, a country that serves the coolest technology in the world. It uses 4K capabilities and augmented reality. DR Company rated it as the most downloaded game to date. Try it now. Okay, so I will give you 2 minutes to answer. Okay, who wants to answer? Bella, again. Very good. So for bias statement, DL video game is the best. It was developed in South Korea, a country that serves the coolest technology in the world. And last, DL Company rated it as the most downloaded game to date. And for propaganda, Trixie is right. It uses 4K capabilities and augmented reality. And try it now. Right, so who got a perfect score? Okay, Trixie, Bella, Raymond. Who got most of the answers correct? Okay, Pamela, Lorraine. So, good job, guys. So, for your assignment or additional activity, watch ATV tonight. Then examine the different advertisements and identify what type of propaganda is used. Write it in your notebook. Alright, so that's it for today's lesson. I hope you have learned a lot today. So let's enjoy life and take care as always. Have a safe learning, everyone.